Hi there, this is Sulkrooms, aka Thomas Ragsdale, and just wanted to put a quick walkthrough together of my track Illusion, which is from my Winter Visit EP on Waxing Crescent Records. This is a video just showing a few details on how I put the track together very quickly and the types of tools I used and that kind of thing. As always, if there's something more that you wanted to know about the track, just drop me a comment here or send me a tweet or get me on Instagram and I'll pretty much answer anything that you need to know about this. Okay, so this is the main screen I've got. It's a super simple track. It's more of a layers based track, this one. There's 6 channels, as you can see. Looks a bit weird, I guess, from the look of all this. There's nothing in this track to show. Loops and things like that here. And then a really kind of simple melody / bass line here. So, what have we got then? So the first track is a reactor instrument that I've got playing with no MIDI. It's just a sound generation kind of synth that I've got that I use all the time, called Evo 1. It's a free instrument. It's really weird and it's really hard to use at times, but it kicks out the most random noises. And it's something that I quite like to use for generating sounds or generating really weird synth noises. So on its own, let's press play. So I've got it filtered right down, actually, I've just noticed. I'm going to take it in the middle. So, super ominous drone. The key to the kind of stuff that I do in Sulkrooms is using things like these frequency shifters, corpus, and also the resonator in Ableton. I pretty much make all of the Sulkrooms stuff that I do in Ableton on a laptop using stock plugins. Sometimes I use this plugin, DAW LP, which is just a vinyl generation kind of sound, and then the Eve, I use that as well quite a lot. So the kind of tonal aspect of this is coming from this corpus plugin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off all of the effects here. It's going to get quite loud, so just watch your ears, but this is how the raw sound is. So it's literally just like a white noise kind of bass generator thing that's coming out of this Eve synth. And then I've got on all of these things, frequency shifter in the corpus, add a lot of the tone, as does the resonator. It's quite bland otherwise. So what I do is with this thing is I choose a key and then make a chord here with these intervals. So I'll choose F, add a 5th, a 7th, 5th down, and that's a 7th again, the octave. And then that kind of makes this kind of like lush kind of chord sound with the added corpus that adds a kind of this tube preset. Is quite nice. And then the frequency shifter kind of gives it some resonance in there as well. All the while there's a few of the bits and pieces like reverb, some delays. These are all presets as well. Presets that I just kind of tweak a little bit. And there's a lot of EQing going on just to kind of sculpt out some mid and some low frequencies and a nice long filter, which I like to automate. Okay, so that's that channel. Next channel is kind of like the washy melody kind of side of things. And it's just basically a loops of this channel that I've just captured. So yeah, you can kind of see how it's the same noise but just opened up a little bit more. a lot of the stuff I do in Silk Rooms is just using one channel or one synth noise, and then I'll loop it again and again and create other channels with these loops. Just create a big, it's all about getting a big sound, I find, and then having that big sound like change over time very slowly. So here I've got a couple of filters working, one of which is activated by this LFO instrument from Ableton, which I love. This new addition that is making this thing kind of move up and down intermittently and opening up. And then after that I've got the usual delay and reverb from Ableton. Again, like, there's nothing here that isn't from Ableton. The stock plugins, including this pedal, which is really nice as well. So I've sculpted out some of the mid, and it adds a bit of kind of distortion. So without it, it's kind of tame, so bang on there, that's nice. And yeah, I've had to scoop out a lot of the kind of low mid frequencies because it was feeding back quite a bit. You can even see the peaks over here. So the next channel below that is the same thing again. I think it's actually an octave lower it's this channel an octave lower that I've looped again and put even more stuff on there, like an overdrive. So I'll take all the effects off and see how it sounds. So kind of bland, just like a kind of a straight up organ sound. Maybe it wasn't this, maybe it was something different, but you can kind of hear how basic it is and how kind of organy. But then looping that around, put some reverb on, lots of reverb, lots of delay, and it becomes kind of angelic, I suppose. So those two together. So you can kind of hear how the track is expanding quite a bit. Okay, next thing is this. Another loop. You'll notice a lot of loops going to be going on here. Again, lots of effects on. That's how it is dry. Quite not a very nice sound particularly. Just something I played on the keyboard. Automate some filter, some drive on there, some overdrive, lots of reverb, and then that kind of does its thing. Alongside this one, this is the same again. This is an octave lower, and it's the same channel. So that's kind of like hissing away. This thing's working nicely. You can hear a kind of a crackly sound, and that's from the DAW LP. That's without it. And with this plugin, you can degrade the sound quite a lot, and you can add that you can make the amp really bad quality, or it kind of it simulates a vinyl deck basically, but you can have some really cool effects on there. And of course some delay. And the final channel we have is our main kind of melody bassline type thing, which again is coming from the Eve 01 reactor synth. Quite haunting. And this is just a preset that I've modified slightly. There aren't many presets in this whole thing actually. Drones and sound generators, certain frequencies. That was what I used up here for the first synth. But I love the synth. I've just kind of warmed to it. It's very difficult, but that's I guess that's how I go with things like this. And it's been the key to my whole Silk Rooms project, is learning how to tame this thing. So yeah, I've got a lot of or a couple of effects on there, same ones as always. I'm going to take those off to hear how it sounds raw. So really bland, not particularly nice. But then put these on, and like a big kind of soaring kind of texture comes out. Again, I've got this DW LP, which I love, and I probably use this on every piece of music I've done over the past couple of years. And the Ableton stuff is great, I find. Just nice, kind of, not like basic by any means, but they're just like nice plugins. They look all there, everything's there. There's no kind of crazy menus and stuff. So that's what I mean by basic, uncomplex. And lots of overdrive that I automate and things and turn up and down. That's one other thing I kind of learned as well, is that having a sound play on its own is fine, but changing it over time is where I think you get some real magic, and adding lots of automation afterwards, kind of sitting down, turning things up and down one at a time, you can get some really cool effects. So everything together. And of course, I play with panning as well. Automate panning to get really cool effects, special effects. I use this LFO plugin again. That's such a great effect, and it just kind of saves you the job of doing all this, I suppose. But yeah, thanks for watching, and sorry it's really quick. I just thought I'd do a minimal episode. But yeah, any comments or any questions or anything, just let me know.